TMI Book Tag, which was created by PBS for the Great American Read, which is a US voting for the best book, Greatest American Read book. And if you are in the US, then you can vote for it too. This tag's fun in the way that it connects ourselves and our lives and us as people to the books we read. Question 1 is, if your life were a book genre, what would it be? Funnily enough, but in a very mixed way to it, but my life would probably be magical realism / fantasy, simply because I spend so much of my time and my life in make-believe things. So I, of course, as you all know, or most of you know, I write, so I spend a lot of my time in fantasy worlds, writing about them, and imagining myself in them, and then of course I read nothing but fantasy books, or at least 99.9999% of the things that I read are fantasy books, so of course that as well is constantly in my mind, and constantly in my world, and constantly in my environment. And also when I'm not writing and I'm helping out at the nursery, then I am also in the fantasy and imagination of the children, and we are creating worlds and building dens and going on adventures and just doing magical, amazing, adventurous, make-believe sort of things. So I think that most of my life is spent very much in Fantasyland and dreams. Question 2, what villain from a book do you identify with the most? I actually love villains when they are complex and when I can relate to them and when I can understand where they're coming from, but of course think, okay, I get where you're coming from, but you're taking it a bit too far. I love villains like that, where you're like, okay, I see your point, but calm down. And one villain that I absolutely love, and was actually sad for him whenever things didn't go his way, you know, I didn't want them to go his way, but I felt sad for him. Like, I understood where he was coming from, and I was like, oh, shame. And that is the Darkling from the Grisha trilogy. I love him. He has been used and abused most of his life because he has power and he's magic, but, you know, they're just kind of seen as like dancing, performing monkeys, and he's just a servant to the king, and just not really seen as a person, but just seen as a magical object to be like flaunted and used. And so he's kind of like, listen, we're the ones with the power, let's fight back to these ordinary people that think they can just use us and like, dance, monkey, dance. So, you know, I can see where he's coming from. He's like, listen, I am a person, and if you think you can use me, ha, I'm gonna use you. But yeah, as all villains do, he just takes it a bit too far. Question 3 is, what protagonist are you most similar to? I would love to be like all the protagonists in all the books that I read, because they're all amazing, incredible, strong women. And I suppose with some of them I do share some traits, like persevering when things get difficult, and if things aren't going your way, you know, powering through. But I'm gonna say that probably the protagonist I most like is Belle from the fairy tale Beauty and the Beast, simply because, of course, A, she loves to read, and one of her dream gifts is a giant library. That is very much me. Also, she, you know, doesn't run screaming from the hills when she sees the Beast. You know, she's kind of like, okay, this is weird, magic, but bring it on. And I feel like, yes, I would definitely be the type of person to be like, magic, yes, bring it on, let's do this. And of course, before she finds the Beast and enters this world of magic and wonder, she just knows there's more, and she just wants more.
I want so much more than they've got there.
I want adventure in the great white summer. I want it more than I can bear. You want it just the same. You want it that game. I had a lyrical blankness syndrome there. Question 4 is, which book did you connect to in the past that you no longer do? And I actually have no answer for this. I really thought about it. Although my tastes have, of course, evolved and changed, and even the genres that I read have changed, I will always connect to them for the happy feels that they gave me at the time of reading them, because of the nostalgia and the connection that we made back then. Once I am connected to a book, we are connected for life. Question 5 is, what recent book did you read that you would love to be a character in? I don't know. I've read a lot of great books this year with a lot of great worlds that would be fun to step into. Of course, some of them though are a bit dangerous, and perhaps I wouldn't actually enjoy being in them, but I will go for A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I think I would very much like to be in that world, but specifically in red London. I do not want to go to black London. I do not want to go to grey London. I do not want to go to white London. I want to be in red London because that is full of magic and wonder and everybody's happy and everybody gets along and, you know, so far, I've only read the first book in the series. So far, Red London is the place to be. Question 5 is, how do your reading habits show your personality? I'll start first with genre. I think that my reading habits show that I always pick up fantasy, usually with a strong female character and probably a strong male lead as well. So I guess that shows that I enjoy magic and other worlds. I think that perhaps my reading habits show that I like to try and read 4 books a month, which I have not done this month, but that I like to try and read as much as possible. So I guess my reading habits show that I do enjoy reading. I guess it shows that I'm fairly organized because I like to plan what books I'm going to read in advance and I generally stick to them. So I guess it shows that I'm also fairly disciplined and I log them on my Goodreads challenge thing. I'm a member of the Goodreads challenge, so I guess that kind of shows that I like to set standards for myself and goals, and I like to reach for those goals and do my best to get to that. Yeah, I would say that's about it. Question 7 is, what book taught you something about yourself? 50 Shades of Grey. No, I'm kidding. It was not 50 Shades of Grey. But a book that actually surprised me, like I surprised myself when I was reading it and it taught me something about myself, was 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. What I discovered was that I really, deeply, intensely did not like the cheating scenario that was going on between the guy with the girlfriend, and they're serious and you know it's a great relationship, and then one of the sisters comes along and sleeps with him. Fair enough, she doesn't know that he has a girlfriend, but then when she discovers that he has a girlfriend and he goes back to his girlfriend being all like, I love you, and then they continue to cheat, and that I didn't realize that that would annoy me so much. But yeah, I do not like I think if you cheat, you know, everyone messes up and that's fine, like it happens, but I do not like when people claim, I can't even get the sentence out. I do not like it when someone is with somebody else and yet continues to see somebody else. I'm either be alone and have your fun with both, if that's what you want to do. Or pick one, but stop it! Stop it! Stop it! So that surprised me and actually taught me something. I was like, wow. Like, of course, you know, no one wants to be cheated on and no one wants to cheat, but I never realized how much it angers me until that book. And that is all for the Who Am I book tag. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, then please consider subscribing and giving it a thumbs up. And as usual, I tag all of you to do it too. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye!